Throughout the Star Wars mythos, we are treated to truly fantastical ideas and beings from across the galaxy, both equally wondrous and terrifying in nature. We know of the benevolent and helpful Jedi Force Ghosts, an ability discovered by Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn to transcend death and become one with the Force itself. Through sorcery and magic, a select few Sith have also been able to find their own way around death, as well as freeing their own evil spirits to continue their reign of terror. One of these Sith Lords being Freed Nad, whose tomb caused several great wars and the fall of Exar Kun to the dark side. But what if I told you that these spirits weren't the only ghosts of Star Wars lore? I'm sure you remember our video of the top 5 Sith powers, and remember the phantoms that Darth Vectivus knew how to summon. However, today we are speaking of spirits that can only be found in the deepest reaches of space. Not a mere smuggler's tale either, a very real threat that any spacefarer should be very cautious of. Welcome, curious travelers of the galaxy, to today's video, where we will be giving you an essential guide to surviving an encounter with the Starweirds. Of all of the Lovecraftian horrors in Star Wars, Starweirds post one of the most significant threats. At least with Abeloth, we know that she is trapped and will only ever escape every other millennia. However, we find no such solace with the Starweirds. Equating very similar to our world's Banshee folklore, these malevolent spirits haunt deep space and have been known to attack ships in or out of hyperspace. Sailors who have survived have described the Starweirds as humanoid, impossibly tall, and severely gaunt and skeletal. They have wispy white hair that floats upward and ripped rags of clothes that drift behind them. They have long arms that end up with 3 sharp black talons. As horrible as this is, it only gets worse. Their faces have been described as having a wide mouth with jagged, rotting teeth and shiny eyes that which glow through the darkness of space itself. Though I highly recommend keeping your eyes to yourself for your own sake, as according to some accounts, if you look into the face of a Starweird, you might see your own face staring back at you, but not in your normal state. Rather, your own face, decayed and rotten. Should these sinister specters board your ship, here's what you should expect. Firstly, I don't recommend trying to shoot or hit them with anything. Their bodies are incorporeal. No blunt force trauma will faze them at all, or any physical attack for that matter. You may not be able to hurt them physically, but they can certainly hurt you. With their long talons, they can attack and scratch at their prey. If you are frightened by this, I regretfully inform you that there is still more terror to come. Earlier, I compared them to our world's banshees. Reason being is that nothing traumatizes the sailors more than the Starweird's haunting wail, a wail that can be heard even from the vacuum of space. These hyperspace terrors will enter your mind and torment you to insanity by telepathically screaming into your head. Is there any way to avoid them or get rid of them though? Well, the answer isn't exactly simple nor straightforward. First thing is first, avoid deep space at all costs. This is the easiest way to ensure your safety when concerning the Starweirds. Secondly, if you must go through deep space, make sure of a couple of things. 1. That you have thoroughly inspected your ship to make sure that everything is working in order, and there is no chance that you will break down in the middle of space. And 2. Be sure that neither you nor any aboard your vessel is a Jedi or can touch the Force. This is very, very important. Yes, friends, the Starweirds will dine on anything they come across. However, they seem to specifically hunt for Force wielders. Jedi or Sith alike, it doesn't matter to them, but they seem to just utterly despise the Jedi. It is said that if a Force user is present, that the Starweird will hyper-focus on killing them, even if there are a plentiful amount of other living beings present. Perhaps it is the light side of the Force that draws them so close, as this seems to be the only thing that can actually harm them, the only thing that threatens them. Jedi using the light side can repel or kill the Starweirds, because as we said, they are beings of the Force. Specifically, it is rumored that a Starweird is constructed purely out of dark side energy. It is essentially the living dark side, as the dark side swirling in unknown space has presumably created this monstrosity. Many Jedi speculate that the Starweirds are manifestations of the dark side, or spirits of the Sith that never made it to the afterlife, but no one can know for certain. What we do know is that they can certainly use the dark side, and themselves are Force sensitive. manifesting force powers such as life drain, force grip, and even in rare occurrences, force lightning. The third and final tip that we have for you is if all else fails, do not look at the Starweirds. Starweirds will manifest themselves to sailors having to repair their ship in space, or on ships in hyperspace. But if you know one is near, do not look at it, even if they attempt to trick you with visions. Do not stop to help stranded ships in space, for their fate is sealed. When looked upon, this is when they become enraged, unleashing their horrible shriek, and begin to attack. It is important to remember the distinction between the Starweirds and the Space Wraiths. Space Wraiths are a Force-sensitive parasite species, which use their telepathy to dominate and feed off of the mind of Force-sensitives. Space Wraiths have no corporeal body to speak of, as they exist in mere thought. If their host is killed while the Space Wraith is possessing them, the Wraith itself will die as well. Starweirds, on the other hand, do not possess their prey, and can only be destroyed with the Force. When they die, they disappear and leave no trace of themselves behind. Very little is known in regard to their history. According to Master Wellett's Codex files, they can be found in Star Wars: The Old Republic, during the first war fought between the reconstructed Sith Empire and the Galactic Republic. The Starweird Queen was a member of the species that attacked many members of the Jedi Council, and even a Padawan named Zerender. This group, fortunately, was saved by Master Wylett. After this happened, Master Wylett was captured by the Sith Empire. It is not known what happened to the Starweird Queen, however, but we do know that she was not killed. And this is the only recorded event of the Starweird Queen presenting herself to anybody. But just for a moment, I would like to talk about the implications of the existence of such a creature and a queen of the Starweirds. If the Starweirds have a queen, then they may operate on some sort of spiritual hierarchy. The Starweird Queen was regarded as a legendary being, again with only one confirmed appearance of her. Other than this, she exists purely in legends, but it is important to note that she did in fact side with the Sith purely against the Jedi. In terms of power, the Starweird Queen may lie somewhere between such as figures like Darth Sidious and maybe even the ones of Mortis as a Force-based entity, a being potentially older than the ones of Mortis, older than Abeloth. She could possibly hold immense power from a region unknown to even those that have traveled deep into unknown space. It is clear that she is ancient and has existed presumably before any known event in Star Wars mythos. No other appearances of the Queen have ever been recorded in history since that fateful day. But anyway, Acolytes, what did you think of today's story? And do you think that it would be interesting to have a peek in on the spiritual battle of the Jedi's Force Ghosts and the Starweirds, or maybe even some Sith spirits? Do you think that Starweirds will ever make an appearance in Star Wars canon? If so, comment below your thoughts. And now, my wary spacefarers, be warned and beware of the dangers that lie out within deep space. Normally, I would say, may the Force be with you, but when concerning the Starweirds, that might spell your certain doom.